Welcome back to the gift of the gab. How have you been, Ben?
I've been good. What about you, Tia?
Oh, I've been good. It's been a juicy week on social media this week.
It has diving right into it.
Yep,
Not even a how. Actually, you just I guess you asked how I was.
I did.
I kind of sometimes I just respond on autopilot. But yeah, it has been an interesting week on social media, and that's coming from me, and I'm not even on social media like that.
Yeah. An
Got me staying
interesting
up.
24 hours as well.
Yeah, I've had before we even go there. I've had like 3 hours of sleep in the past 2 nights.
Tell us why.
I stayed up. I stayed up because I was like, I'll let me do some extra work. It will make my life easier in the long run because I work from home. And then yesterday was an unintentional one. I watched the movie on Netflix, and then um, I decided, let me delve into what's going on social media because it was all kicking off last night. I was like, if you were there, we would have recorded live right then because I was just scrolling through. You should
For
have seen me.
hours.
Yeah, I started at like 1. I finished at like 3 something. Um, Maybe I started earlier. I'm ashamed. No, I'm not really ashamed. It was good. It was good. I've been missing out. How's it been for you? What have you been doing on the social medias?
Um, Social media has been okay. Um, yeah, like yesterday I went on it because I think I had a nap. Did I have a nap? I think so. Yeah, so I had a nap and I was seeing what was happening with August Asino, and I just never expected it. It was all going down.
Oh, so you're calling him August instead of August, the home
I didn't.
furniture store.
I didn't say August.
Yeah, rewind the tape. Last week, I was like, "Isn't it August?" It felt like the month, and you're like, "Well, I've been saying it August, so I'm gonna continue."
August Asino. No, I did not say August.
Guys, you need to go back to the episode before. I'm pretty sure she was like, "Oh,
No,
Argos Alcina."
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was kicking off with him. But first of all, I want to address some things last week because some new information came to light. Not even yesterday, but about because I didn't realize that interview was about him doing an album because I don't be looking for his music and nobody has for some time.
He was sick. That was rude.
No, he was sick, but he hasn't been putting out music, so no
Y-
one was looking for it.
yeah, but the way you said it was rude.
But
Like he's fallen off.
I didn't say you putting words in my mouth. And yes, maybe he did fall off, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
Sometimes.
he was really sick. He was in hospital. Anyways, what was you saying?
Okay, so this is gonna be a tough episode for Tia because she's getting some home truths about her boy August. Or should I say her boy Org? Yeah, it won't be
Org,
your boy
Org.
Org.
Yeah, let's call him Org.
Jada's boy Org is more like. Well, some news about um what's happened. So yeah. So he did the interview last week or about last week with Angela Yee, I think on lip service or something. And basically was like he had a relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
And
He was in love with her.
yeah, he was in love with her, and he was so
He was really respectful.
yeah, going into it, he was speaking very respectfully. First of all, I'd like to say that, and yeah, he let this secret or this whatever it was out, and the internet went wild with it, especially Black Twitter, and I did not realize that he had an album coming out. That's as I said, I don't be checking for his music. I don't. Did you know he had an album coming out before this?
I did, yes.
You did?
Hmm.
Really?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, maybe people do be checking for his music. But anyway, I didn't realize he had an album coming out. And that changed my perception on the situation because I took a more on the fence stance last time. I was like, you know what, he doesn't want to be labeled a home wrecker, blah blah blah. I can see, but also it's like he made it seemed like it was a secret between them. They made an agreement, and he stepped out of that agreement. But now that I found out, like, yes, this was an interview before his thing, and although he didn't bring it up and he was asked the question, he could have not answered it. And now I'm like, he messy. That's what he is. He's messy.
I don't think
talking
so.
too much. He talking too much. He shouldn't have said anything. and it
But
was
that's his truth.
it's his
Who is?
truth, but he could have said his truth anytime. He just chose to say his truth at a time it would be profitable for him.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it and help you, get your cells up and stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of a like a crappy way to do things. To do it. Yeah, if it's your truth, live your truth and stuff. I ain't saying you can't live your truth, but I don't think the best approach is to you know what, I got an album coming. Let me just go and because if it's not just your truth you're telling. You're you're dragging other people into it.
And fair enough, but he wasn't really doing interviews before, and the reason why it came out now, because obviously you have to promote the new album that's coming out.
Yeah, but you don't have to promote your album about by telling
But
your
he was
album has
asked.
nothing to do with you sleeping with Jada.
You're right, but he
And
was asked, and he's been
and
constantly asked,
how many
and
times
rumors.
have Donald Trump or someone been asked a question that they should have kept their mouth shut to and they continue to talk?
Let's
Many
not talk
times.
about Donald Trump.
Exactly, many times. You don't have to answer every question you're asked.
That is right.
And
Sometimes you have to keep it to yourself.
and I think he messy because if this was a girl and she had done that, we would all be she would be labeled messy and she talked too much if she was coming in and that's what happens when women do it. So I'm applying the
I
same
don't think
energy
so.
towards him.
I
If a
don't
woman
think so.
comes, okay, so if there's like a married couple
Hmm.
and the woman comes out and says I was sleeping with him, people on the internet start dragging her, and for some
Do you
reason,
know what? I think if it was a girl who came out and said it, she would have got a better response. Because
then
people
all
were still dragging him
no,
online.
she would have been called a homewrecker. I think that is not true to
I
what would
think
happen.
so.
You don't think that when women come out and say they've been sleeping with married men, the blame shifts from the cheating man to the woman, and
Okay,
people
okay,
that's what I'm saying.
okay, but you have to compare apples with apples. They weren't well, they are married, but they were separated.
Well, yeah, I'll
So
get to that in a second.
people were saying he was a homewrecker, so he had to clear his name.
I still think he's messy,
I
and
don't think
I
so.
think he has the right to clear his name, but he chose a very good time when it would be beneficial for him, and for that he's messy. That's what I think
Well, the
personally.
situation was going to be messy anyways. It was
Yeah,
going to be some
no, but if
sort of
but
messy. You might
but
as well
it seemed like
profit from it.
it seemed like he was happy with it, or he was happy with the arrangement. He didn't say anything, and then when something came that he could make money off, he was like, oh, you know what? Let me drag this and leave that in. I don't think that's
But if you're constantly asked something or
what other interview. You
assume,
just said he doesn't do interviews, so
no, but it
how is
like
he being
on it,
asked?
it was assumed online that there was something going around. He was a homewrecker, stuff along those lines. And if that is what is going on, and that it's been your name has been tarnished at some point, wouldn't you want to clear it up?
And I would clear if my name had been tarnished. I'd clear it up at the point. I wouldn't wait for but I'm gonna do a this album. Let me I'm not doing the same sales. No one's really checking for my music like that anymore. Let me drag these people into it because that will bring more controversy and bring me sales. That's why I think he messy. You coming from a biased point, I would say, because you were a big August fan
I
in the
I
past.
just think
But
that
you're
even if she said it, he said it, whoever said it, Will said it would have been messy in some sort of way,
I don't
right?
agree that the situation wouldn't be messy. I'm saying he messy for how he did it.
But it was already kind of known, it wasn't confirmed, but it was already kind of known that something was happening between the two of them, kind of thing.
And and
Or assumed, I should say.
then that's the difference. That's the difference. That's the reason there's a whole big. That's the reason my eyes are looking like this at this
Well,
time, because it's been confirmed.
it is what it is, and it's
No,
done
no.
now.
It's not done now because we just getting into it. So
He said it. The cat is out of the bag.
if you can see Tia's face, it's like she found out.
The water is out of the bucket, and you can't put it back in.
Yeah. You haven't got very good phrases. But yeah, it's like someone just told her like her. This must be what it was like for some people when they found out like their fate, like the person they looked up to is in some controversy. because Tia seems to be struggling to believe. But I think I'm applying the same energy that I would towards that gets applied usually, and it's that you can live your truth, but live your truth, at the point, like live it right then. He kind of chose a convenient time to live his truth and try and get album sales, but that brings us on to what happened yesterday.
Mhm.
So Jada took herself on Red Table Talk
Yep.
with Will. Did you watch the? Not even did you? I know you watched it.
I did.
The whole
Yeah.
thing.
A majority of it, yes.
You had one job.
I
What you mean
watched
a
the
majority?
majority of it.
How many minutes?
I watched like 10 minutes. How long was it?
It was 15. You only watched 2/3.
That was close enough. I got the gist.
No, but you didn't see everything.
Okay.
I might have to pause it and let you watch it.
No, continue.
All right, just let me know if you didn't see anything. So what was your first impressions from?
Well, it seems like Will and Jada's relationship really took a turn for the worse. Like they were, what is the word? They were having rocky times. Is that the saying? I don't know. That's what I'm
you're
gonna
the one
use.
using quotes these
Yeah, and she was saying like she was going through a hard time. Will said, "I was done with your ass." Like, yeah, she thought they were gonna be over indefinitely. That's the exact quote from her. Um, but like on social media, I don't think they made it look like that way. What do you think?
Well, yes. I think on social media it was a different picture, but I wasn't really following them, but they were a lot of people's relationship goals.
Mm-hmm.
And now their relationship knows is what it was looking like.
Well, they're back together.
They are back together, but also, um, what, how do I put it? So I watched the full thing, and I was watching it, and I was like, she did express like a different side of their relationship. And first of all, before we even delve into this, she didn't have to. Will and what's that? Will and Jada didn't have to address the situation. Like they could have left it with the PR reps and said, like, all right, just say this, we'll say that, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and leave it as there. They didn't owe any of us an explanation
Yeah.
as to what to counter what August said. So I appreciate and they went out their way and decided to say something. So you gotta give them props for that, because they didn't have to say anything, but they did, and man, it was tough to watch for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't tough.
Why?
It wasn't tough to. It was. It was like entertaining to see, or like intriguing is the word, not entertaining. To see, but it was like I was looking at Will, and he did not look like the A-class actor that he usually is.
It was so awkward.
He looked hurt.
Yeah,
He
did.
looked hurt. He like he was covering it up with laughing and I think some jokes and stuff in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he was performing.
There was a lot of like and nodding your head. You know when you're not listening
Yeah.
and you're nodding your head.
The I'm glad you said that.
And
The
to the
is
side,
when you don't know what to say and you're just
Yeah.
like He
Yeah,
was the whole way through that. And again, he didn't have to come out and do that. That must have been tough because.
Oh look, he's got me doing it now.
But yeah, that must have been tough because even if they were broken up as they said they were, that is still.
Sorry, I keep saying.
If you can see it. Yeah, even if they are broken up as they said they were, it's still gonna be tough to have to listen to that. I was hurting for him. I don't even, and they were both
Really?
calling him Org.
I know.
How have they both got a nickname for him? How they both got a nickname for it? It's like an Org. You know, Org was staying with us at the time. I said, "Well, you need to fire on Org right now."
Yeah.
Like this was bothering me. Org is how old is Jaden? Their son.
Isn't he like 20?
So and Big Org is like what 27.
I think so.
So he's like 60. That's like older brother territory, mate. Whether you were following them more, were they like friends? Was he like integrated in the family like that when she was looking after him? Because it seemed like it started off as a like she was kind of taking care of him and helping him, as you said, he was sick and helping him through like his addiction and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think I said this last week as well. It looked like a mother and son kind of relationship.
Well, that makes it extra weird.
Ooh.
Yeah. It really
It,
at the
to
time,
me,
because
that's
I didn't follow Jada or at the time, so I didn't really see.
to me that's what it looked like. Because I think said this last week as well. He was on some kind of drugs,
Yeah,
and he was performing.
what,
I
yeah.
I don't know. He was performing, and he actually passed out
Mm-hmm.
off the stage, and they had to like catch him and whatever. And like when it was really rough for him.
Did they do a better catch than they did on DL Hughley? Did you see that video?
No.
Just a quick tangent from that. You didn't see so DL was performing, he's a comedian, and he was performing on stage, and turns out he didn't have, I think he said he didn't have the main symptoms of coronavirus, but he collapsed on stage, and I guess the usher or whoever, I don't know, one of the stages, like one of the stage crew came to help him up and like was propping him up as he was falling, but did a worse job. Basically, let him fall onto the floor. It was like, what were you there for if you can't even? And they just dragged him out like some sort of doctor. We're laughing at how bad a job they did. Like your job is to like help catch this person, and he was basically letting him just fall onto the stage. It was
God.
Yeah. But anyway, August fell.
Yeah. And it seemed like because a lot of his family are not alive and not around August, and
what's sad.
And so, like, she looked like she was like taking care of him,
like,
and
nurturing him.
Yeah, and I guess maybe it was just me not thinking that way.
Maybe.
Because of how old is she?
I want to say they are either 50, because Will is 50, I think. Let me pull it up. You keep talking, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, it just seemed like because she's a lot older than him, it seemed like that kind of relationship for me anyways. I don't know what anyone else
She's
thought.
48.
Yeah. So she's two times his age.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly.
Yeah, she's getting there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not really getting there because they both age at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, it is a big gap. It is a big gap between them. Well, it's like 21 years.
Yeah.
It's a whole Jaden. They got a whole Jaden between them. Let me check Jaden's age.
And Will has an older son as well.
Yeah, from another
marriage. Yeah. Well, anyways, in the interview, she did say like around Jaden 4.5 years ago, they started their friendship and they got really, really close.
Yes.
And it started because he needed help.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of, what's it called? What's the word? Reaffirms what, like I was saying. Like I think it did start off like that. Like she was helping him like in kind of a motherly way. But how does it turn from a motherly way to
give me them cheeks?
I mean, I wouldn't have said it like that. Yeah.
I don't know. We have to ask Org about how this progressed. But man, Will looks sad.
He does.
Will looks sad. Like,
I mean, would you want to hear that about me?
No.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be there fist bumping Bad Marriage for Life. Did you see that part?
No.
See, this is what I told you to watch. You missed some key parts.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so at the end of the thing, she quoted, because Will's in Bad Boys, which she quoted Bad Boys as saying that, and she was like, I forgot how the full saying goes, but she's like, good this, and then usually in the film, Martin Lawrence and Will, Bad Boys for Life, but instead they both said Bad Marriage for Life, and they bumped fists.
What
or like
kind of?
But it kind of seemed, and that was what I was gonna say. They didn't owe anyone this explanation, but it kind of seemed like they tried to address everything and try and make for them to come out of the situation looking okay.
Mhm.
And I think that is why that is why you come to clarify things because you want to like as August wanted to do, you want to clear your name
Yeah.
because after what August said, it made people look at Will like
Mhm.
because people's attitude towards an open relationship is a bit different around the world.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not very it's not
Accepted,
it's
I
not
guess.
yeah, it's not viewed as traditional.
Yeah.
So they were like kind of like there was kind of a raised eyelid that
Mm.
little like you gave your wife
The
permit
path.
the permission to do this, like they're kind of looking at Will as like I don't know. I don't not inferior, but like they kind of just like now with the side eye, they're giving him the
Yeah, like
side eye.
what is going on here, like kind of
Yeah,
thing.
so I feel that's why they wanted to come out, but like throughout the whole thing, they're like addressing different points on it, and there's moments where they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna, um, oh sorry, I'm hungry." There's moments where like they're addressing different points on about what was said,
Mm.
and their responses are like well crafted enough that it's like it answers some of the question and it also makes this person like look good. And an example of this is like um the permission thing.
Mm.
I noticed it because she was like, it's kind of been floating around in the air that you. This is me speaking as Jada. You gave him permission, and then she doesn't deny that that happens.
Mm.
Like I rewound the tape. I was like, and I was like, she didn't deny it, and but she said, and that's just like it's. But that would be me. I'm the one who gives permission, and he was like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and they kind of like glossed over
Yeah, I
that
did see
because
that.
August specifically said he sat down with Will and gave permission. But when they did the red table talk, she mentioned it and then she was like, "Well, I'm the one who gives that permission." But it's like, yeah, we know you give permission. He can't just sleep with you.
Mm.
But did Will actually have? Did that talk actually happen? Is what
Do you know
people
what? I
wanted to
didn't
know.
even think about it in that way, and you're right.
Yeah, that's what was going on through my because it was like she was addressing some points, but she wasn't blatantly saying August lied about all of
Yeah.
this, but she was like, oh, but I give yeah, we know you give permission because he's not gonna just sleep with you without your permission.
Yeah.
We know that, but you didn't really address the August point, and you don't have to.
You
But I'm
didn't say
just
yes, you didn't say no, it did
yeah,
happen. You kind of stated the point and then went around it.
yeah, and I also think she was referring to August and her's relationship
Oh,
um
yes.
as the entangle, and she was saying the way she was speaking I think it was damage control.
Yeah.
Like I don't think this was just like an organic conversation that they
No,
had. I
definitely
think this
not.
might have been a practiced one, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing, but it seemed like it was just too perfect a performance.
Mhm.
And there were too many things like she was referring to it as an entanglement, and then Will was the one to say, "Oh, you mean a relationship?"
Yes.
And then she kind of was like wishy washy with her
She
words.
yeah, she kind of went, "Oh yeah, no, you're definitely right. It was a
Relate
relationship." And then she went back to
to
say the
entanglement,
entanglement.
and it was kind of to like and I think because it might not be like like that sort of if not viewed as normal like or like as traditional in society or especially over there um that after what August had said, Will looked it made Will look bad in a lot of people's eyes, and she
Mm.
was trying to get it back to like, oh, like I didn't have this serious, meaningful relationship with this boy, almost this guy almost half my age. Um, it was like it was a quick little thing, and compared to August's story, it's like it doesn't match up because August was in love. He was willing. He said if he died now, he'd be happy or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a different. It was a completely different. What's it called? Outlook on it. And I was just thinking like, I don't know. Something doesn't add up.
Yeah,
Something doesn't add up.
for sure because the way he was talking was like the love was mutual. Like they both felt the same type of love for each other.
Who August? You're
Yeah,
yeah.
org. And
Sorry, from here on,
and
org.
the way Jada was phrasing it, especially her calling it
An
an
entanglement.
entanglement and kind of refusing to call it a relationship, made it seem like he was more in love with her.
Oh, definitely, she did, and the Twitters were getting onto her for that.
Oh, really?
They were getting onto her because they were saying, as you said, he was very sick at the time, and you started this nurturing relationship,
Yeah.
and now you're the older one in this situation, and you've been looking after him, and this turns into an actual physical relationship.
Yeah.
Um, it seemed they a lot of people were seeming to suggest like there was like he was being manipulated, but he's a grown man as well, so it was kind of I don't know if I subscribe to that that side of things, but it did seem like they if what both of them is saying is true, they were both living two complete separate relationships within that relationship. They
Mm-hmm.
had one for one person it was a quick fling, and for one person it was a life partner basically.
Mm.
And it was weird to watch, and there were just lots of different moments in that red table talk, man. I just keep going back to Will's face. I could see it in my head. I was like, oh man, he is hurt.
Yeah.
He's putting on a smile right now, and he just seems, and everyone talking about him. I mean, look at us, we're here.
Do you know what and how I feel about this situation?
Yeah.
Because the relationship formed when he was at a low point, I feel like in his eyes he was seeing like
Wait, are you when you say he, you're referring to August?
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um
I thought you were still talking about Will.
no. Because Org and Jada's relationship formed when he was at a low point, I feel like it could have made him feel loved in a way. Like, someone's taking care of you at a low point, they're there by your side, you can talk to them. And because of that, it seemed like their entanglement formed naturally. It didn't seem like it was something that was forced or anyone was looking for,
Hmm.
but because it was kind of the right time, kind of like he was sick, she was living on the other side of the house. And like it was like a puzzle. It just kind of fit together.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
do feel like if she didn't want it to be like that, then she should have had a conversation with him.
Yeah. Because did you watch the part about how they split?
No,
August?
explain. Tell our viewers.
You see, you did not watch the full video, guys. When you before, rewind this, pause it before we start talking about this. Watch the full 15 minutes. It's on Facebook. You can find it and just watch it because it will help. So basically, she said that he stopped contacting her. He went cold turkey on her, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how their relationship ended. And
Yeah.
that they haven't talked since.
Mm.
And um, there was an interesting part with what she was saying about like how she's describing the relationship, and oh, they said they split amicably, her and Will, Jada and Will, and then this happened. But then it was like, but if you split amicably and this happened, why does August seem to think that he had to ask for permission from Will?
Mm.
Like, if you are split up in this situation, like, or why does he like I wouldn't be going to your ex and being like, can I know you guys split.
No, because remember, Jada did say, like, no matter what, they'll still be living in the same house. So to me, it seems like they were still in the same house. They were still around each other, Will and Jada. Like, Will knew what was going on. It's
Mm,
just that they were separated. So, I mean, could he really have said no?
our yes.
Really?
No. Look, if you ask a question, you have to be ready for either response. You don't go asking a question knowing that the response can be no or yeah.
I guess so, but they were not together.
Then why is he asking him?
Respect.
Then you best respect my response when I say no.
RESPECT.
You get what I'm saying?
I
Like,
guess
if
so.
you're asking me for out of respect, then respect my response when I say no,
Well, I guess
or
he did
don't
say
ask me at
yes.
all.
I guess he did say yes.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. He said,
Mhm.
but Will did not seem to suggest that conversation happened.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Jada was also saying she was going through it as well. But then they said that the split wasn't.
yeah, that's what I was saying. It seemed like it was like a man. I saw,
They're downplaying it.
I saw Will's soul in there when she was like, I just hadn't felt good in a long.
Yes,
Ah,
yes.
oh man.
And I was like, mm?
She was just like, you just made me feel good. I was like,
Yeah.
right now, you need to
Oof.
be like, if you are with Will right now and August is not a thing, you are saying the wrong words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's live your truth, live your truth. Yeah, 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 yeah. But when that camera go off, yo,
Yeah.
yo, this got too serious.
Yeah, but how it must have been bad, but I don't know.
Uh, it was just so many different points within that just made me
Mm.
feel like, you know,
From what I watched, it seems like they were just picking upon smaller topics. What do you think? Picking upon smaller topics, not really explaining them all.
oh yeah.
They were doing like a politician's answer.
They were deflecting. Yeah,
Mm.
I feel like they were deflecting a little bit. Well, maybe deflected is not the right word, but I understand what you're saying, and
Yeah.
I completely agree. They would go into it, and then they would like twist it a little bit.
It was more like stating it.
Yeah,
Stating it, like making sure that they pick up on all the points that he mentioned, like the big ones.
yeah,
Stating it, not really answering it, like if he asked for permission or not.
yeah.
Well, not asked for permission, if Will gave him permission or not.
Mm-hmm.
So they're stating it, not really answering it, dancing around kind of.
Yeah, and a lot of awkward laughs and
Yeah. But
um,
that would be a lot of
I know,
that would
That's why
be
I'm saying they
awkward.
wouldn't have to. They didn't have to. I mean, he gave us content,
I
but
mean,
was it worth it? Because I feel like if I'm in Will's shoes, I feel worse.
I do.
I did not need to
I
hear
mean,
how even if they went through a hard, because we don't know the true story.
yeah.
Maybe that we will find out some things later on that make us think, oh mate, well, you kind of got what you got.
Mm,
But from where we was looking, he just looked like he looked defeated and
yeah.
like empty. And even at the end, where another thing you might not have seen, he said, "But I'm gonna get you back."
Oh,
You see, I told you to watch the full thing.
get her back. How?
He said it as a joke, and then she was like, "Oh, but you already did."
Oh,
And then they were both like laughing, ha ha
oh.
ha ha.
But do you know what? Even before you said that, I would have thought that he had another relationship too.
And I was gonna
That
say
just
that,
seems like the
and
agreement.
that's what made me seem like this. The thing seems it's like addressing points and kind of moving and pivoting and trying to build the characters back again in like social media
Yeah,
and make it look like Will isn't as defeated as he was,
yeah,
because it's like, oh, I'm gonna get you back, and then she was like, oh, but you already did, and then he was like, oh, but I'm gonna get you back though. And it was like they both like giggled and they were like, oh, but we're life partners, and it was just like it seemed a bit like a performance. Like
yeah.
it didn't seem like full true. And maybe I'm viewing at it with a different lens, but I was like, man, it seemed like a performance that went a little bit wrong
Mhm.
in terms of Will's. I don't think Will was really prepared for.
I mean, like, how prepared can you
I
really
don't I
be
don't
to
know,
hear your
your
wh-
life partner,
your
as they
life
call each
partner,
other.
another entanglement, talk
Yeah,
about their entanglement?
and especially was August up in their house? Was he just
Yeah. In
yo?
the interview, it said that Will said we took him in
Yeah,
because he was sick,
we took
which is
we took Aug in.
which, oh, I don't know. The whole thing is a hot mess to me, and I feel like for Will, he would have wished it was kept how it was kept, not confirmed, nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Because for him, once the cat is out of the bag,
Yeah,
It was a lose-lose situation
And that's what I'm saying.
for him.
That's why I'm saying it's messy. That's why I was calling August messy before, because now it's like I think they went on damage control last night and they tried to make Will look good, and also they tried to share her side of the story and interview her. But a lot of things we were saying, if I was in her boots, and like it seemed like they're back together now, which would suggest that they're not in an open relationship, because they were saying they split. But then in the other episode, they're saying that they like, oh, but you can have one person there, and so
I
I'm
think they're
just
just keeping it
confused.
on the low.
I think they wanted to address some stuff, but they didn't want to lay it all out there,
Yeah.
and they gave us a little tidbit into the inside of their life, and I'm grateful to listen
Yeah.
and to see. But man, I don't think it went as well for either of them as they
No,
might
what a
have
mess.
wanted. It was just, yeah, it just seemed like, man, I hope you're okay, Will. I
Yeah.
hope you're okay. This is coming from a guy. I hope he hurt. I just that type of relationship is not for me.
Do you know what? I do think that Jada and Org's relationship was uh longer and strong. What do we say? Stronger, better than how she wants to make it seem.
I think so. I think she definitely
I think
downplayed
they
it.
were on a
That's
full-on
that that's
relationship.
that's why I was like, right now, because there were some points where she was like, you just like, I hadn't felt so good in a long time, and I just was wanting someone, and it was just like I think she was having flashbacks to the relationship,
Oh
but
God.
she was trying to come back to, I'm with Will now,
Yeah.
and and let me just like be like, but yo,
And let me say this as well. How long do you think it would have lasted if he didn't cut it off?
I don't know, and
It
I
could
don't
have been
know,
still going.
and I don't know the full reason, like, well, if wait, did she say, like, yeah, she said like he didn't respond to her or something like that.
Mm.
But and this was like 4.5 years ago. I can't confirm, but if apparently people were saying that he was seen with them as late as 2018, so 2 years ago.
Mm.
But I don't know. All I know is that it was a lot,
Yeah.
and I wish them all the best. Not just Will. I wish them all the best. But Org was getting into it on Twitter. They were,
Oh.
because Will Jade is a powerhouse couple, like in a lot of people's eyes. So
Mhm.
when something came for him, people came at Org like, "Yo,
Yep.
you messing this idea that I have in my head,"
Yep.
and they were coming for Org. And yesterday he was someone some girl on Twitter posted a picture with um Org and Kiki Palmer in it,
Yeah.
and then she replied with like, "That's not my man."
Oh, okay.
And he was just taking L's on Twitter the whole day, and he must have snapped,
Mm.
because he responded to Kiki, and let me pull up what she said, or what he said. So he responded a couple of times. So she's like, "Oh, that's not my man," and then he was like, "You absolutely right. I was never your man. You could possibly never, Shorty. It seems you got mad, you curved, but your friends are the reason for that. They showed me an endless thread of texts and pics of me that you sent, worried about who I date, and begged me to not further disturb your mental health." So he's seeming to say that basically she was the August in the relationship between them.
Mm. She was trying it.
Yeah, but and he was going off on her a little bit, and imagine not he tweets again. He was just like tweeting and tweeting. Imagine not knowing how to mind your business, the business that pay you. I catch all the subliminals, and you can call me whatever you like. Messes constantly inserting yourself into topics you have nothing to do with. And then he goes, "If you have something to say it with your chest, kids." It's always very perplexing, because I real deal be showing people genuine love whole time that envy eating your little heart. And yeah, he was going through his emotions last night, because it was a big night for him. It was a
Yeah.
big night for him. I'm sure it'll help with the album sales.
Do you know what? And if I was him, I would feel really hurt to see the person that you were in an entanglement with
Yeah,
for X amount of years downplay the entanglement.
because he was talking like he would have died for them cheeks.
Mm,
He would have died for Jada's heart. Is
yes, that's better.
that's how he was talking though. And she was basically like, "Oh, thank you, next."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, she basically thank you next
No,
him.
thank you, Will.
No, thank
Like
you, Will.
next
Yeah.
Will, I guess.
Um, and I think that's what got him in his feelings. He was just like, "Yo, anyone can get it. Like, you guys made me feel bad. It's time for me to speak up for
I
myself."
do feel sorry for him though. Like I
I
really
do,
do.
I do. I think he's going through a tough time, but also he did start this.
He didn't start it.
Well, he did start this.
No,
This
he
okay.
didn't.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. He didn't start the rumors about it, but he started the increase in demand for knowing, and that was due to his interview and answering the question.
Yes.
That he started this. He's without him, the red table talk would not have happened,
That's true.
and the people would not have been at him. So that's what I'm saying. Although he came to defend his name, he might have opened a
The
new
door.
wound for himself,
Yeah.
because now, like, he got an answer from Jada that probably he didn't want,
Yeah.
and I think it just sucks for all of them.
It does. But I do want to say as well that this is why it's important not to idealize celebrity relationships and say, "Oh, I want to be just like that them, like I want my relationship to be just like them," because you just really don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
And that's for anyone.
Yes.
But especially because they're celebrities, like, people see that on the forefront, and
Yeah.
they're like, I want to be like that. But for any relationship or marriage, I think it has its struggles, but it's like, man, people are gonna have struggles in that. Just
Mhm.
know that, whatever it might be really good behind closed doors,
Yeah.
but just know that, like, people go through struggles every day, and I think a lot of people got a rude awakening
Yeah, like
yesterday.
don't compare your life or your relationship or what your situation that you're going through with someone else's because you think whatever they're going through is better than
Yeah,
you.
be grateful for what you have, and if you don't like it, try and improve it or move on.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, we it was something.
That was
It
something.
was something. It was something. we we spent a lot of time on that.
Oh, goodness, yeah. It
So
was a juicy topic.
it was juicy. Well, man,
Yeah.
what
What a night, eh?
what a night! Definitely what a night.
I just never expected it.
Well, in other news,
Yeah.
and with more surprising twist of things, did you see on earlier this week they said the bubonic plague is back?
Oh.
But so I was like, what is happening for 2020 away? They're now saying, like, China, some province in China has discovered the bubonic plague. But then I did my research and I pulled it up, and the bubonic plague has been here. Like, apparently it's like, according to CDC, it said, like, what, like 10 or 12 people die from it in the US every year or something like that.
Ah.
And, like, the numbers were like, the numbers were low, but but when I saw the news articles about it, it made me think like it had come back from the
Yes.
1300s,
Yes.
and it was like, because I didn't think it was still a thing. So I was trying to find out, like, why is this such a big news if it's happening in other places? Maybe someone can enlighten us. But
Do you know, this is just my, I guess, conspiracy theory.
yeah,
Because I think it said like 2 cases were reported in China, right?
I saw one, but could be, yeah.
Um, I feel like because coronavirus started there, it's another thing to make China look bad, kind of thing, and that's why it blew up. And many people like yourself and me
Yeah,
don't know that like there is still cases of the plague going round, so
uh,
they would think, oh,
it's anti.
China
Yeah.
again.
Oh, you think? I think you're onto something there, because right now it might like, because the trace of coronavirus has been linked to Wuhan in China.
Yeah.
It's like, and China is on the rise right now as a superpower.
Yeah.
There's a lot of countries that don't want that to happen,
Yeah.
and I think the media is also playing a part in that. But China be doing some shady stuff too. We'll talk about that another time.
Yes. Well, we
Um,
have
we have, but
in our
barely.
yes.
Yeah, compared to the total amount of things that
Oh
we're doing
yeah.
around the world. But yeah, so I think you're right with that. It was like to kind of stick it onto them. Like,
Yeah.
look, you guys having bubonic plague too?
Yeah, like another one.
Yeah. And I think another one is the way.
Yeah.
Is the way to sum it up. But yeah, with coronavirus and everything, you're seeing a lot of different changes. Did you back on social media? Did you see the club in Atlanta that opened up?
Oh yeah.
You did?
Yes.
Did you see the videos?
Which one was that? There was a few clubs
Well,
out
they
there.
were being nicknamed Club COVID.
Oh
Because
jeez.
they were all touching up on each other.
Oh, goodness.
Let me see if I can find the video and pull it up for you.
I saw that there was one with a swimming pool.
Oh yes, that's the one. That's the
Yes.
one. I think Compound Club or something like that. Compound Club. They were having haywire weekend, and man, it was haywire. It was erratic and irresponsible, is what it was.
But the thing is, most black people don't swim.
Hey, I swim very well. Don't push that stereotype.
I didn't generalize. I said
You
most.
said most.
I said most, which is true.
Is it?
Most black people don't swim,
In
and
the US.
those who do swim,
I don't know if I can stand by that statement.
girls, they don't want to get their hair wet.
Okay, I can stand by that
I
statement.
can swim.
I can stand by the statement of
Even
black
in
girls
the
don't want to get their hair wet.
Right. Even in the shower, I've got my bonnet on, I've got my scarf
They
on,
did not
my
care.
shower cap.
They did not care. Let me pull up another video for you. It was just... Oh, of course, now's the time for my internet to go.
Oh.
You would have thought COVID was not a thing. Man, I see COVID transfer there. I see COVID transfer there. Definitely over there.
Okay, there's a lot of dancing, there's a lot of grabbing, lots of touchy.
Yeah, sorry if that was loud. I'll see if I can fix that post. But yeah, there was a lot of touching, a lot of transmission, potential transmission that could have been going on.
But that is the thing, and I'm a germaphobe. I just see the germs. I'm like, germs there, germs here, germs everywhere. It's like Oprah. Like, you can have COVID, you can have COVID, you can have COVID.
See, I'm not as bad as a germaphobe as you. I think you made me a bit more cautious of things, but definitely over there, I would not have been.
Anywhere close.
They were just all up on each other. They were all up on each other as if COVID isn't affecting especially black people even more. But man, some people being locked up in the house, they want to break free.
If you want to swim, go downstairs or wherever your bath is, put it on a temperature that you would like, and do a little bit of kicking, not too much. You don't want to ruin your floors. You can do a little bit of swimming. You can get your hair wet. You can get your hair wet if you want to. I mean, you can even turn the shower on and let it run down you. You don't need to go to no club and be around so many people you don't know inside. It wasn't even that, it was outside. They built a pool inside like we like to swim. We don't. We don't like to swim.
Don't be saying that.
Sorry.
Don't be generalizing. Speak about yourself.
Most of us
don't
like to swim.
Where's the survey?
You be seeing, right?
When black people in the UK, we can swim. Yes, we get swimming lessons in year 5, and
that ain't enough.
Well, for some of us it is. Maybe some others are slow. I just don't like the generalization of black people can't swim.
But you be seeing people get into the water, and be splashing around like I don't even know what to say.
You look like a grandma right now with your glasses down.
They be splashing like they're drowning.
I cannot confirm that I've seen this. Look, the black people I know, we can swim.
Me, I can swim.
Well, you are amongst the people who think they can swim.
What?
Yeah, I seen you in the pool.
Because I don't want to get my hair wet.
Yeah, it's also because
I don't want to get my hair wet. I can swim. My mother paid for swimming lessons for me, and I did that year 5 swimming you be talking about.
Just because you pay for something doesn't mean it worked.
And I did year 10 swimming, so I can swim very well. Thank you very much. Thanks.
But I've seen you swim.
Next.
And you seem like the people you're
Next.
describing. You splashing around, your head is just sticking above
Because
the
I
water
don't
like an
want to get
ostrich.
my. Do you know how much I pay for my hair? I ain't trying to get it wet. Not with chlorine, anyways.
What do you mean pay for your hair? You haven't got anything in your hair right now.
At the moment,
Even,
I'm
whether
all
or not you have,
natural.
you're not all natural.
Oh, excuse me.
Is it? Oh, I think I crossed the line, guys.
What's not natural about my hair?
You get it relaxed. That's not natural, is it?
It's still the hair on my head.
Okay, that's different.
No.
When especially black women refer to natural hair, they're talking about getting it relaxed. Excuse my ignorance.
I guess so. You can be like, oh, like, no, no, no. I can't even justify what you're saying.
Let me move the heat off me. Let's move it on to Trump.
Okay.
Let me just get the shade off me. What silly thing did he say this week?
Well, he was coming for Bubba Wallace.
I told him to apologize, innit?
Yes, he did, for the noose that was found at NASCAR.
But apparently, Bubba Wallace was not even the one.
He wasn't. It was people in NASCAR who saw the noose, which it was a noose actually, that the FBI said.
They said
They said that it's been there for ages, and they use it to open the door.
Yeah.
But the picture of it is a noose. A noose is a noose, and it was a noose.
Oh, okay.
And it's not in anyone else's. I was gonna say changing room. What would you call that? It's not in anyone else's garage or whatever it is.
Pit stop room. I don't know.
But yeah, he called the whole thing, Donald Trump, that is, he called it a hoax. I mean, when Donald Trump says hoax, you should think the opposite.
I'm reading his tweet now. Has Bubba Wallace apologized to all of those great NASCAR drivers and officials who came to his aid? I'm not even going to read the rest. Has Trump apologized for his silly comments? And first of all, Bubba Wallace, you don't need to apologize. We got you. Black people don't. I'm from the UK. I don't watch any ounce of NASCAR.
I'm not too sure what it is.
It's a race circuit. They just basically
in
go
car?
around in a circle.
Ah.
It's just a circle. Keep going. It's many laps.
Okay.
But all the black people were like, "We with you, Bubba."
Yeah.
And he's got a kind of a cool name, Bubba.
Bubba. Yeah.
Bubba
Wallace.
Bubba Wallace. It's
Okay.
like I'm getting side, but yeah, Trump does never. I've never heard Trump apologize for anything silly. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Those in a glass house shouldn't be throwing stones. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Trump said that we should be injecting, what was it? Dettol, disinfectant into us to cure corona.
Something like that. Yeah.
He
something along
said
those.
that coronavirus will vanish.
Has he apologized for saying, you just grab him by the hoo-ha?
Exactly. So when Trump learns how to apologize, then we can talk about it. But for now, that is the end of that.
Not even then. We won't talk about it because Bubba didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
Bubba done no wrong. Man, Bubba did no wrong. But speak on Trump. I got a little game.
Oh.
I got a little game for us.
Okay.
It's called. Oh damn! What did I call it? Oh, I got a trickle Trump. I made it up. I got a little game for us.
Okay.
You're the only player here, so you're gonna play the game.
Okay.
I'm gonna read you a series of quotes.
Yep.
You have to tell me if I'm tricking you or if I'm trumping you.
Okay.
Who said it? Did Trump say it or
was it?
was it a trick?
I get it.
Okay. Number one. I could take it. I would do the Trump impression, but then mine's not very good, so I'm just gonna say it in normally.
Okay.
Did you just do it by sticking your lips out?
Yeah.
I could take a dump on the White House balcony and I'll still win in 2020. Trick or Trump?
Trump.
Are you sure?
I think so. Yeah, Trump.
Trick or Trump? Trick or Trump? I was meant to get my soundboard up for this.
It's okay.
We're gonna pretend I did. Man, how do I do this? Oh yeah. So you think Trump did it?
Yes.
It's incorrect. Now, of course I don't have my sound on. That's what it was meant to play.
Okay.
But yeah, it was not Trump. That was a trick.
Okay,
Next
what's
one.
next one?
If Donald Trump Jr. wasn't my son, I'd date him.
That was a trick. He said that if what's his daughter's name? What's his daughter's name?
Ivanka.
Ivanka wasn't my daughter, I would date him.
All right. Oh, you got that one correct.
I like that sound.
Okay. I got one for you. My fingers are very long and beautiful, as it has been well documented. Are other parts as are other parts of my body. Trick or trump?
What kind of question is that?
Trick or trump?
I'm gonna say trick because that's no. He said it.
He did. He did.
Do you know what that sounds like? Oh, what is the
Talking
book
about
that we had to read in secondary school where Kearney wore the gloves?
Oh, of Mice and Men.
Mice and Men. That sounds like some Mice and Men kind of. Anyways, yep. What's the next one?
That was Trump. I have a great relationship with the blacks.
He said it. Unfortunately, I don't know. With what was it?
With
the blacks.
Only black people should be allowed to refer to us as the blacks.
The blacks. Okay. Next.
The next one. The final one. How many have you got? You got 2 right, 2 wrong so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the decider. I have never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. Trick or trump?
He said it. Sounds like some foolishness he would say.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
He did say it. All right. So 3 right, 2 wrong.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
But he, as you can see, he'd be saying some silly things, and it took me all of 2 minutes to find those quotes that he'd be saying.
I'm sure. How many questions were there?
There was 5, yeah.
I'm sure you could have done a.
I'll be back next week, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I might be back next week or in a couple of weeks with my next trick or trump, and he talks so much rubbish.
Rubbish.
He does.
And if you don't have things of substance to say, you should keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, you should. But a lot of people don't. Just don't.
Wow.
A lot of people just don't. Man, this episode flew by on us, didn't it?
It did.
It did fly by on us. You got any? Have you got anything you want to share with us? Any good news? It's just been it hasn't been too doom and gloom.
No, it hasn't.
But were there any light news? I didn't see any.
Not really.
Man, might end it here then.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to leave the audience with?
The quote of the week.
Okay.
You can read it.
All right. Decide that you want it more than you are afraid of it.
Yeah. What does that mean for you?
Well, not talking about coronavirus. That would not apply. It means, I guess, go and pursue your dreams more than thinking about, like, the possibility of failing.
Yeah, I think this is a good one for a lot of people.
Yeah, especially in this time. A lot of people are pursuing dreams or being forced to do something different because they're out of work.
Yes.
And go for it, guys. Go for it. I mean, we are here with our podcast.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue and in quarantine because what else are we going to do?
Well, we've wanted to do it. You've wanted to do it for a long time. And
and we set it up before, but we just didn't get around to recording.
Yes.
But this gave us free time.
Yeah.
Opened up the week and here we are. So far, 4. We've done. This is our 4th one.
Yeah, my sister's watched it. She watched the full episode.
She watched the full episode.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird hearing your own voice.
It is. When you hear your voice, you're like, oh, shut up.
I sound like?
Yeah.
Why do people speak to me?
Yeah. I said, I feel sorry.
But yeah, definitely. I don't know what I was gonna say. I just want to say words.
But yes. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in and watching.
Yeah, we've been BT Small Talk.
Yeah.
And
this is the gift of the gab.
Yeah. Find us everywhere podcasts are found, and like, comment, and do all of that.
Yeah.
Bye.